I think now that riders and pedestrians are used to some of the patterns that are in place around the Bayview station, if you're coming from the east and heading west or south, you're using the multi-use path that runs along the north of Albert Street into the station area, down the pathway toward the O train, and then either using the Trillium path that runs along the east side of the O train to continue south, or head under the new multi-use path that heads underneath the bridge and continue off to the north of Tom Brown Arena to come out at the corner of Bayview and Scott. If you're heading to the river, from the corner of Bayview and Scott, you head underneath both Albert and the Transitway to get onto this MUP number 2, heading back east and then north to the river. Sometime in roughly mid-May, more of the station area is going to come under construction as that station construction continues, which will have a bit of an impact. It won't change overall the patterns that are in place, but there's a bit more of a detour. Again, pretending that we're coming from the east, you head along the Albert Street multi-use path that runs to the north of Albert into the station area. This section here will be closed, but you continue north along the path, cross the Transitway along a well-signed route, around the area that is under construction, then back into the station area with a choice of either continuing south along the Trillium Line path or to continue west underneath the Albert Street Bridge, heading north of the Tom Brown Arena and off to Bayview and Scott. This MUP number 2 that runs from Bayview will continue to be in use, heading east and west and off to the river. So it's a few more feet to get around this construction area, but not a huge detour. Now, sometime in June, the pattern will go back to what we're used to. Again, traveling along the Albert Street MUP into the station area, down the path. It'll be slightly less straight than it was before, into the area around the O train with a choice to continue south along the Trillium Line path, or once again to go to the west, running just north of Tom Brown Arena and coming out at the corner of Bayview and Scott. Again, through this whole period, this MUP number 2 is open, accessed from Bayview Road. Now, the big change will come in August. It will last for a year with the same configuration. The connector that joins the MUP 2, that's the one just to the north, with the Bayview station area, will be reopened, but the MUP 3 that runs along Tom Brown Arena is going to be closed as that undergoes construction. So again, coming from the east end, you travel along the Albert Street MUP into the station area, slightly reconfigured through the station area, coming to the fork in the road. If you want to continue heading west, or if you want to head to the river, turn right, head north, get to MUP number 2, continue to the river, or if you want to keep going west, onto MUP 2, keep heading west, and when you get to Bayview Road, make a quick left and then a quick right to get onto the Scott Street MUP that runs along the Transitway. And you still have that option at the fork of moving to the south along the Trillium Line path. This will make it a bit more of a straight shot for those who have been seeking that route to the river without making the big detour around to Bayview Road and back. It has been a few months since MUP 3 was the primary route that we took to get further to the east and west. So just a quick reminder, in August when that 1 year detour takes place, if you are traveling east or west, if you are on the MUP number 2, which runs to the north of the Transitway, when you get to Bayview Road, if you are traveling west, just make a quick left, underneath the bridge, and onto the Scott Street MUP that runs alongside the Transitway. If you are traveling from the west to the east, you may be using the bike lane that is on Scott Street. When you get to Bayview Road, turn left underneath the bridge and onto that path, because the final route in August will be to use the reopened connector into the station area, around and continuing on.